What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Two Worlds Podcast. I'm Jake, and with me, as always, is the baby New Year to my Rudolph. It's Casey. What's up, buddy?
Are those two friends?
Yeah, didn't you ever see Rudolph's Shiny New Year?
No,
You
I
really
really
didn't. You haven't
no.
seen the 1976 classic.
Is that a sequel to the other stop motion Rudolph?
Mhm.
Okay, so what are they? Is he just like, I gotta save the New Year from being aborted or something?
So, baby New Year's name is Happy, and he gets lost, and Rudolph has to go find him before midnight on New Year's Eve.
Oh, okay.
So
What
the
would
whole
happen?
the whole thing is whenever you're lost, I'm there to find you.
Oh, thanks, man.
You're welcome.
It's really sweet. Did you ever watch Hysteria? It was like the animation, like one of the animation shows that Steven Spielberg was like responsible for in the 90s, along with like Animaniacs and Freakazoid and Pinky and the Brain and stuff.
Well, after a quick Google, I recognize the odd shaped little person there.
That's Baby New Year in that show too.
Ah,
And then Father Time was like him old basically.
right. Okay. These characters do look familiar.
I think it had
Man,
like 8 episodes or something. Like I don't remember it being on much, but I remember it a little bit.
Steven Spielberg must have just, I don't know, like just dry rips before, these pitch meetings or something. Like,
Yeah, like there was a joke in Freakazoid, and I think it's probably pretty accurate where like Wacko, Freakazoid, and I think Pinky and the Brain were all arguing about who's Steven Spielberg's favorite. And then he's like, I don't know who any of you are. And it's like, yeah, I bet it was just like his production company signed up, like, yeah, sure, we'll do this. And he's just like, whatever. I'll make money off of this.
oh man. Anyway, how was your Christmas, man?
It wasn't bad, buddy. How about you? You have a
Oh,
good
it was
one
good.
with all the
Yeah.
traveling that you had to do?
There was some travel, but it was good. It was nice to see the fam and to see you in
I
person
know.
after at least half a year.
Yeah, we should have recorded a quick podcast sitting at the table.
I know that wouldn't have been terrible.
It would have been great. We'd had, family just interrupting all the time to talk to us about, you know, what breakfast foods we're eating.
Dude, I know, right? I'm always a little worried because I'm like, who am I gonna see here? Because there's not that much time, and I want to spend that time talking to you.
Yeah.
And they're always like, "Oh, do you remember so and so?" I'm like, "Quit talking to me."
I mean, it could be worse. Anytime the grandma on my mom's side, anytime she sees my mom or anyone that might remotely know, she'll be like, "Do you remember Sally Mae?" And mom will be like, "No, who's that?" She's like, "Oh, she used to be your babysitter's sister." And mom's like, "Oh, okay, she's dead."
Like, gee, thanks, Grandma.
It's like, yeah, you didn't have to tell her that. Like, it's just like 5 minutes into every time we have a family get together with her there, it's always just like, did you hear about, Michael Sheen? Be like, the actor? No, no, no. Michael Sheen that lives down the street from me. He died. Like, I don't even know who this is.
And also, quit being a downer.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, maybe I think when you're old like that, it's just that's one of the things that you look forward to. It's like I beat another one.
Yep. She keeps tally marks on a sheet of paper.
Yeah.
Suck it, Michael Sheen. All right. Anyway, let's hop into some news. We're about the same. I'll kick it off this week. So I don't know if it was last week or the week before, we were talking about Dark Horse being up for sale. They've officially been bought by Embracer Group, which is a Swedish entertainment company that actually has several video game subsidiaries. And the two that I recognized were THQ Nordic and Gearbox Software. So Dark Horse is actually, they have a lot of video game properties. So I know I read in the little, announcement article that they plan on keeping a lot of those video game adaptations as well as doing some new ones. So Exciting for fans of video game related comic books, I suppose.
And then
But yeah.
I also heard that they're gonna be kind of like, oh yeah, you guys, we're gonna have like a head of the dark horse comic stuff. It's not, they're not gonna, the way they made it sound, since they're the ones, buying it, they're like, we're not gonna do anything to take stuff over and change stuff up too much. So hopefully they just go, yeah, you're the one heading it up. You're making money at it, so we'll just keep it this way. Hopefully that's what they do and don't put people
Mhm.
out of jobs or anything like that.
Yeah, I don't think there's any reason to believe it wouldn't be that way. Um, Dark
Only
Horse has a
thing,
lot of great properties still, so should be fine.
you wouldn't think that, but then at the same time, like you look at how AT&T handled Warner Brothers and how bad of a job they did there with, like, so many different properties that they could have just had layups with. So now I'm like, anytime this type of stuff happens, I'm like, there's so many times where they think they can just do things better and then it doesn't end up working out. So like I'm hopeful, but I'm not going to hold
Yeah,
my breath.
yeah, for sure.
So, oh no, I clicked my notes away. Yeah, I don't have as many notes. Like most of my stuff are like unsubstantiated rumors. So,
Well, we can save the rumors for like the last bit
yeah,
and do the rating thing.
I'll start with this. Apparently Sony is planning on bringing back Tobey Maguire and Andrew for more movies, whether that be one quick little cameos. Like there was rumors being maybe in Doctor Strange, but they are, after seeing how good this did and the fact that they're like, we wouldn't have to share money with the MCU for
Yeah,
Toby and Andrew, which I'll get into one of the actual Toby rumors later. But yeah, with all this, it's like, that's exciting, and I am hoping for more after seeing the Spider-Man movie.
excellent. Now we can hear your thoughts on it on this
Yeah.
week's YouTube. Um, okay, so Marvel is giving us the event we've always been asking for, Casey. We are
Ooh.
finally getting Avengers versus Eternals.
Oh yes. The only thing better could have been Inhumans versus Eternals.
Oh man, it would have shattered records for most books not sold.
I mean, just think how good that'd look in your shop 10 years from now when still hasn't sold.
I know, right? But that's going to be happening in March, starting with Avengers number 10. Or no, Eternals number 10. I don't know which one's correct now. I feel like it was Eternals, and I must have typed that down wrong because Avengers hasn't relaunched as far as I know.
Yeah.
But anyway, maybe Avengers is relaunching and they're just gonna put it out 3 times a month, and then
Yeah,
they'll
they're
hit
like, this
number
is
10
working
in
really
March.
well for Spider-Man. So
Right.
we'll just do that.
Um, Speaking of that, by the way, let me finish this sentence.
Okay.
Kieran Gillen and Assad Ribic will be doing that, so it's going to look amazing
Yeah,
and
and
probably be well written. Let's be honest.
it's
It's
just
just
like, I usually say, oh, it's the creative team that puts me, what makes me want to read a book. But you could have like Brian K. Vaughan and Grant Morrison teaming up with like Jay Lee doing Eternals, and I'd be like, that's a hard sell, guys. I don't think so.
dude, you would absolutely check that out. Don't even.
I mean, maybe for a couple issues, but I'm just like, I don't care. Like, I have no connection to these people at all.
Right. So yeah, you said it's working so well for Spider-Man. I guess that Beyond thing is already like gonna be wrapping up pretty soon.
I
It was
mean, well,
only
it's been
ever
like 15 issues.
well, yeah, but I mean, they made it sound like this, I know it's never the case, but they're always like, this is gonna change Spider-Man forever. And then they're like, just kidding, it's 13 parts or whatever it
Yeah.
is.
I
So
mean, I'm not too surprised because like I remember seeing like, so I mean they're kind of spoilery, but I follow Art Adams on Instagram and he posts covers, and like he has pictures of like, just, it was a lot of them were like Pete in the hospital, like getting better and stuff. So I'm like, yeah, Pete's coming back. Okay.
right. And I mean, we already knew that we were getting a uh I don't know that it was like a Scarlet Spider, but it was a Ben Riley. Is it just Ben Riley Spider-Man or
I
something
think
like
so.
that
Isn't
is
that
the title?
thought that was supposed to be like like takes place in the past though.
I don't know. Either way, it's whatever.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Okay. So Michael Keaton's officially going to be in Batgirl, which we kind of talked about this. I had said that there's a chance it could have been Ben Affleck from stuff that I was reading, but it's official. We're getting Michael Keaton. I mean, for me personally, growing up with like Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, George Clooney, and Christian Bale all throughout my childhood, I have no nostalgia factor really for Michael Keaton's Batman. It's just kind of like, oh yeah, he's another one of them. So this isn't really kind of getting me hyped. I would actually prefer Ben Affleck's Batman, but whatever.
I was
you
just
all
about to
decided.
ask you that. I was about to ask what you would prefer. I loved the Snyder Cut so much that I would be totally fine with Ben Affleck, but I also think that Michael Keaton's Batman movies are probably the best. Although I really like Batman Begins, but I really, really do like Keaton's Batman movies. I think they hold up for the most part.
I actually
So,
watched Returns on Christmas. It's a new thing I do every Christmas
oh, okay.
because it's a
Did you like
Christmas
it?
movie. I mean, it's goofy,
Yeah,
but it's fine.
yeah. So yeah, I guess to answer your question, I'm fine with either one.
Yeah, I got you, man.
All right. So Bendis has confirmed that he is officially done with Justice League soon. Hopefully it means he's done with DC Comics soon. Probably not, but a girl can dream. No idea who's going to take over afterwards. Probably Tom Taylor or Joshua Williamson, if I were to guess.
Yeah, my guess is
Um,
Joshua Williamson.
yeah, but would he do Batman and Justice League at the same time? I don't know.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. They don't have a lot of people to be doing that stuff with now.
I know.
But Bendez, though, he's got that crossover coming up. Speaking of like Bendez and DC, so it's the
Yeah, it's only going to be
Justice.
like 6 issues though.
Oh, okay. As a Legion of Superheroes fan, are you just so tired of him on that?
I'm a Legion of Superheroes fan, dude, but at this point, like the new 52 one kind of bombed, and then when it came back, it was Bendis, so which I refused to read. So like at this point, it's like, yeah, I like those characters, but I haven't really read them in so long. I don't know that I can really give a solid
Yeah,
opinion.
I
So
gotcha. Okay, so when I saw, I was just scrolling your notes. I didn't actually read it. Okay, here we go. We had I had sent you a thing, like a news thing, and then we both kind of talked about it. And then I saw the Bendez, so I was like, oh, that must be this. And so I didn't include our notes, but then after you said it, I'm like, oh, it's not it. So I'm gonna say it now. Brian Bendez is developing an animated series based on the Legion of Superheroes for HBO Max. I don't have a release date, but I'm not gonna lie, I am not enthused by that.
yeah, I thought we had already talked about that.
I don't think so. I think you and me just talked about it.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, we've talked about before that that Bendis's writing style would work best for television. So maybe it won't be as bad as his comics are, but it's still going to be like pretty hokey dialogue, I think. So
Mhm.
I don't know. I would be more open to watching a show that he's written than reading a comic he's written.
I will say this though, I don't think Legion of Superheroes can work on TV.
No, and because they say this is going to be for like 18 and older audiences, it's like that's not who DC made the Legion of Superheroes for. It was a
Yeah.
goofy team of young heroes from the future that work with Superboy. So we don't need a gritty Legion of Superheroes. Nobody's asking for that. Not a single person.
Yeah.
Okay. We have a new Star Wars comic coming out in March. It's going to be called Han Solo and Chewbacca. That will be written by Mark Guggenheim and art will be done by David Messina. It'll be about Han, Chewie, and Greedo from when they were working together as a team prior to A New Hope.
So as Star Wars boy, how excited are you on a scale of 1 to 10?
Probably a 3
Oh wow.
because I mean none of it matters. Like we know Han and Chewie survived the series, and then we know what happens with Greedo, and ultimately what happens to the other two.
So
So
I've only seen the first 3 prequels. What happens to Greedo?
well, according to George Lucas, he shot first.
Oh, okay,
But
cool.
but yeah, it's a money grab. This isn't
Yeah.
this isn't a series that needs to be a thing. I really wish they would keep going with some of their new original content that's been doing well for them. This is just a hey, you nerds like Han Solo and Chewbacca, give us money.
I got you, man. Well, that's not that wasn't what I was expecting. I expected you to be like, I might like a 7 for it.
Eh,
I
maybe I'm just a grump today.
Another grump podcast from old Jake. So we got the Batman trailer came out today, like I think about 5 hours ago. I know you probably didn't watch it since you're like, I don't want to watch another trailer until a movie comes out. So I
That's
mean,
not a great impression of me, sir.
I'm not an impressionist. I'm not Frank Caliendo, sir. But it kind of get like that. One thing I will say about the trailers for this movie, they do a very good job of like not telling us a thing, but actually making stuff look cool. Because I've seen all 3 trailers and the international trailer. You don't get much from it. I will, and also they said like the writer needs to be smacked because he had Catwoman go, the bat and the cat. I like the sound of that, or some stupid thing like that. It's like, don't read Tom King's terrible dialogue and think I can put this in my movie.
Yeah. Yeah, the fans do not want that.
But I mean, I'm still like, I really think Catwoman's gonna save that movie because she looks awesome, except her mask. Her mask is just trash. It's like a really cool, like just costume, and then like this really bad ski mask with ears. It's just like you really splurged on everything but the face mask, didn't you, Selena? But other than that,
If I may defend that,
go
just
ahead.
play devil's advocate for a minute. This movie is supposed to be the first year
Second.
of Batman, second year of Batman being in Gotham. They haven't quite upgraded their costumes yet. They're a little more rudimentary.
But what I'm saying though is that's all well and good, but like when you have an awesome everything costume and then you're just like, here you go, no one can tell who I am. And it's like this like really bad looking face mask. Like, okay, you could have like cut $20 off of the main torso costume and added that to your face mask because this is clear you went to Dollar Tree to get this stuff.
I mean, I just want the Catwoman leather suit with like the Groucho mustache and
Oh yeah.
eye thing. That would be hilarious. I don't know, man. Maybe it'll look better in the movie. Maybe it's just the one picture or whatever
No, I mean it was like it's
scene.
been like 2 trailers that I've seen so far with this, and I'm still like both times like I don't know about this.
Mm.
I'm hoping they don't do it long. Like that's gonna be the one. It's like, oh yeah, a couple scenes and maybe Robert Pattinson will be like,
Robert Pattinson. Is that an original joke?
I mean, I don't think so, but I'm gonna say yes. But
That's
they're gonna
hilarious.
be. He's just gonna be like, hey, you should take that off. You look ridiculous. And she's like, look at you.
Oh man.
But yeah, like I was saying, you don't get a lot from like plot wise for this. You just see kind of some different action scenes and stuff. I'm not like I'm not sold on it at all because it's still like, oh yeah, we're gonna make Bruce Wayne just the most bland, I'm edgy type of guy, which it's like, what's the point? But the Batman stuff looks cool.
I'm still hyped for it. If it sucks, then shame on me for getting my hopes up, I guess.
I mean, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it's not gonna suck, but I think you're gonna be disappointed if that makes sense. Like, I don't think you're gonna be like, this movie was terrible. You're like, yeah, it's fine. Which will be disappointing for you, but
It will be, but I'll take that at this point just so we can stop hearing the Marvel fanboys crap all over DC movies. Because at
yeah,
this point, the last few really have been good.
yeah.
um, All right. So, Casey, this one's for you, buddy. Liam Sharp has a new image book coming out called Starhinge, and we got to see a few pages from it, and it looks insane.
I bet it does. I need to go Google that. We'll probably do
Yeah.
that when we get off here because I'm all about like just as crazy as possible. Liam Sharp. I'm hoping he does a lot of the Green Lantern stuff where it's like changing his art styles all throughout versus just staying one style like he did with Reptilian.
The pages made it look like it was going to be one style, but I mean, he also could have not shown hardly any of it.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be more like original graphic novel with multiple entries sort of thing, like the
I
Reckless
gotcha.
books. I could be mistaken on that, but anyway, whenever you see the pages that they've shown, you're going to want it for sure.
Nice. Okay, so since I was talking about Batman earlier, got a little bit more Batman news. It's gonna be released on HBO Max on April 19th. That's 46 days after the theatrical release. So that's pretty exciting. If you're still like, I don't know if I want to see this in theaters, you can just wait and see it on your phone like it was meant to be.
All right. So Casey, your favorite X-Men of all time is coming back pretty soon.
Which one? Marrow?
No, Thunderbird, John Proudstar.
I mean, I actually do dig that character. I used to think my brother had his toy. I was like, this guy's the coolest because I thought Native American characters were automatically the coolest when I was younger. I didn't know anything about him, but he had the toy, and I was like, I like this guy. And my brother was like, he's dead. I'm like, I don't care. He's my favorite.
He was alive for one issue.
Yeah, but he's
But
cool in
anyway,
Exiles. I'll say that.
a great costume. You weren't wrong. Child Casey was very much correct in thinking he looked cool. But anyway, he's getting a one shot in April. It'll be called Giant Size Thunderbird. It's written by wrestler Nyla Rose, if that's
Yeah,
how you say that, along with Steve Orlando. And then First Nations artist David Cutler will be doing the art for the book.
yeah. I mean, it's hard to get excited about a book written by a pro wrestler. I mean, Nyla is native, so I think that's one of the reasons why she's being put on a John Proudstar book. I don't think that they were just like watching her matches and go, she's the one to write this. I think it was more of the fact that she's a nerd because, oh yeah, that's one thing. 1 year she was at C2E2 1 year, and like you could get your picture with her or whatever, but then like people had pictures that they like posted it on like the Instagram tag with Nyla, and she was just like in a Spider-Man like symbiote suit thing. And so I know she's a nerd because like you're not going to be walking around a con getting that like dressed up like that, not being a nerd. So
Right. Well, I don't think it's anything to get crazy excited about anyways, because it's just a one shot. If they were like, hey, after this, new #1 with 5 issues, just enough for a trade miniseries, then I'd probably get a little more excited for it because what was okay, so John had a brother that was Warbird or something, right? Or
Warpath.
Warpath, yes, of course. He was in X-Force that I liked a long
With
time ago.
Yeah, he was super cool, but he was also like, even though he was like a 2000s character, he just reeked of 90s awesomeness. It's like,
Yeah,
yeah, he's got
those
some
two
super,
giant knives.
yeah, it's like he's got some super strength, some healing factor, some invulnerability, and knives.
Well,
Like, just give him some pouches.
yeah, I know, right? Well, hopefully something does come of it. Like there's no
Yeah,
reason for that character to not be around right now. So look
the
forward to
only
that.
only real reason not to is there's just too many dang X-Men characters. It's like with the how we talk about Teen Titans Academy. It's like they need to kill some of them off so that they can, have like an amount that they can actually write.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so my last bit of news before I get to the rumor mill, Shang-Chi's director, Destin Daniel Cretton, he wants Jackie Chan for the sequel. So I mean, that would be pretty sweet.
I also want Jackie Chan for the sequel.
I mean, can we just put Jackie Chan in everything? Like, can he be the new Stan Lee?
Can he be on our podcast?
I mean, I don't think we could get him, but I would love to.
I know this is so silly, but I watched so much of the Jackie Chan adventures when I was a kid that's like all I would want to talk about with him.
Oh,
It's like,
dude.
yeah, Drunken Master's cool, but Jackie Chan adventures.
Dude, I had this movie box set that was all Jackie Chan stuff when I was a kid, and it was like, but and like there was one movie, it was like the Fantasy Squad or something like that, and it's bonkers crazy, like low budget Jackie Chan Chinese movie. And then there's another one where it's like the Super Fantasy Squad, and they just reshot it, and they had body doubles for Jackie Chan because apparently they couldn't get him in it. So it would just be like they would use clips from the other movie where he's doing action stuff, then everything else would be behind his head. So then they would just change stuff up, and all this other. I'm like, why is this in the box set?
I really want to see that. And after a Google, it was called Fantasy Mission Force.
Okay, and then there was because that might be the good one, and then there was the other one that was like the ripoff of that one, and they were both in the same box set for some reason.
It sounds amazing. All right. So let's see, my last bit of news, and then we'll get to the rumor mill. Hickman and Chris Bocciolo are rumored to be the next Spider-Man creative team once Beyond is wrapped up. I realize now that I could have mentioned that earlier when we were talking about this, but I didn't. But anyway, I don't really think of like Hickman when I think of Spider-Man, potential Spider-Man writers, but I'm not opposed to it. After watching No Way Home, I was like, man, I really should be reading some Spider-Man because I love the character. Hickman could certainly make me want to read Spider-Man.
He could, but he could also make you want to pull your hair out by going like, why is there this much continuity for a web slinger?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, but I'm into it. I'm going to keep checking that out for sure if he gets on.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll know for sure soon.
Okay, so it's time for the rumor mill. I want to try to find like a sound drop of like like a mill going right here where I'm talking.
I'm
just
about
for
it.
This rumor mill. But if I don't, you're just gonna hear me talk about that. Okay, so rumor number one. Rumor says Matt Murdock is going to appear in She-Hulk. Moon Knight and Echo could even appear in Ironheart and Armor Wars. And they even had some of the stuff that's going to happen in the She-Hulk series. They're actually going to have like he's going to be 2 episodes. The first, like they're going to be going against each other, in the law offices, and then they team up and do superhero stuff. So he will be Daredevil, and then they'll hook up because that's what Matt and She-Hulk do best. So 1 out of 10, how likely do you think that's going to happen?
I'm gonna honestly go about a 9 out of 10 that could happen. Maybe not all of those, but at least one of those.
Yeah.
And also, I really want the law thing to happen where they battle in the courtroom. So I'm mostly just hoping for that.
Yeah, I think for sure the She-Hulk, like him being in She-Hulk's gonna happen. But as far as like how big of a deal he is, I don't know. Like I'm at about a 7. I don't think the Ironheart Armor Wars stuff would work because I don't really see the point of him appearing in those, but we'll see. Rumor number 2. This is also She-Hulk related. Emil Blonsky, aka Abomination, is a life coach in She-Hulk that is responsible for multiple people getting super powered, including Titania, who's actually going to be like a fitness guru that seeks him out and gets her powers that way. Then we're also going to get the Wrecking Crew, Scar, and even Red Hulk. And this is supposed to be leading to World War Hulk. How likely do you think that is?
I mean, that one is a bit out there, so I'm gonna put that at about a 2.
I'm at about a 5. Like because Titania is supposed to be the main villain, but it's just I don't know. I could very well see some of that stuff happening, and I've heard rumors of Wrecking Crew and Scar, as you've also heard, and so I wouldn't, like I said, I'm solid 5.
Okay.
Next rumor, and this is like barely a rumor, but people are passing it off as rumors, so I was like, I'll include it for fun. Norman Reedus has been cast as Ghost Rider, mostly because he has liked tweets of people saying, "Hey, you should be Ghost Rider." So, what are the odds of him being Ghost Rider?
I mean, I think that if he would want to be Ghost Rider, Marvel would probably let him.
Maybe. Like, the one thing though is they might have someone already planned to be Ghost Rider, or they might be wanting money.
Yeah. I mean, as of right now, I'm going to put that rumor at about a 4 just because there's not much precedence to it, but could happen.
I'm at a 1, but I want to be at a 9 because I think he would be great. Rumor: Sony is thinking about doing a live action or maybe animated Spider-Man 4. There's supposed to be ongoing talks right now. They want the original cast and Sam Raimi back.
Live action would be amazing, but if that's going to happen, I think it would probably be animated.
Yeah.
That is a heavy rumor. So I got to go low with that one. I'm going to say a 3.
Since it's like saying in talks to happening, I bet it's at a 7. I bet there probably are talks going on. Whether or not it could actually trying to get all the people back and all the parties interested and all that stuff, dealing with everybody else, that's where it'd be kind of tough to do. But yeah, I'm at about a 7 for that because I could see them actually trying, 100% see Sony interested in doing that because of the fact that they've been trying to do a Sinister Six movie and they've been trying to figure out ways of milking all the money they can from Spider-Man for years. So now they're like, you guys want these ones again? Okay, Okay, so last one. Rumor: the multiverse of the Doctor Strange multiverse of madness, whatever, is going to have the multiverse Illuminati, and it's going to have Patrick Stewart as Professor X, the regular Mordo actor, Captain Carter, Balder the Brave, Monica Rambeau, and I'm going to mispronounce this dude's name, but Ion Gruffudd's, who was Reed Richards in the 2005 Fantastic Four.
I mean, I just don't know about that. I just don't know about that. I want that to be a thing. I'll just go middle of the road and say 5. Who knows? I don't who's Mordo?
That's the baddie from Doctor Strange, the first all the Doctor Strange books, and he was played by the
Mads Mikkelsen, or
no, he's the one that's played by the dude from Serenity. I cannot pronounce his name to save my life. You know what I'm talking about? He's the operative.
Oh, like, yeah.
What is your sin? Yeah. Like the dude that's an awesome actor. Yeah, that dude.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think that could be a thing. Do you really think they'd bring in Patrick Stewart though?
I mean,
or I think even Reed, like
I could see them bringing Patrick Stewart in for sure. The Reed Richards is where I'm like, really? But then they've been saying that they're gonna be they've already cast for the Fantastic Four guy, like some of them already and all this other stuff. So, but yeah, I'm at a 3. I don't think that's I think it'd be cool because actually that dude, I mean, honestly, that original Fantastic Four, the cast was pretty solid. It was just the movie itself kind of sucked. So I think that dude was a pretty dang good read. So I don't have a problem with that.
I agree.
You get him a little bit older, might be even better.
Where he actually has the gray on the sides of his head. Plus, Balder the Brave, that'd be cool. We need some more Balder representation.
But those are all of the rumors.
Okay. A solid rumor mill this time. Yeah, I think that's the end of the news though.
Yep.
So we are now going to take our ad break and we'll be back to talk some comics. So we'll be right back. All right, dude, let's talk Spider-Man now that you've seen it. Did you like it?
I did. So, spoiling everything, people. So if you haven't seen it, just, you can skip this, or if you're not, if you're not on YouTube, it doesn't matter. But yeah, no, I really liked it. I thought for the most part, it was all really good. I mean, Tom Holland was the least interesting part though. For like a Tom Holland centric movie, I was still like, I want more Andrew and I want more Toby. But like, because that was my main problem at the end. We got the post credit scene, and I was wanting to see like how cool it would have been if the post credit scene you could just had Kirsten Dunst's voice off camera, but like Tobey Maguire, like first Andrew Garfield, it being really depressing, like goes back to his like studio apartment that has just a mattress on the ground, because he doesn't spend any time there. And he's got like his, I'm assuming like can of Chef Boyardee or something still on the stove. And, he just kind of, and then then it cuts to Toby going back to his universe. And then like Kirsten Dunst is like, hey, hon, where have you been? He's like, you're not going to believe the day I had. And then that's, like, that'd be great. That'd be such a better, because like the one after credit scene with Venom was just lame. And then the, the other one was just a trailer. Like we didn't need a trailer for that, but I think they should have done that. But then also like Sandman really annoyed me in that movie because like his thought process never made any sense. Because it was just like, I don't want to be here. I want to be with my family. And then like when they all decide they're going to leave, he's like, okay, bye. And he just takes off. It's just like, you wanted to be with your family, but you're teaming with the baddies now. And then he's like trying to kill them at the end. It's like, why? And I know they're like trying to say like, you all die, but it's like, he's literally said earlier, I just want to be with my kid.
Right.
And then like Doc Ock at the end too, like they cure him. So then you're like, oh, okay, they uncured him then. So they're gonna have to cure him again. And then like at the end, it's like, no, I'm a good guy. Good thing I showed up to save the day.
Also, I thought it was hilarious that 3 Spider-Men could not stop Shocker, but Doc Ock is like, ha, gotcha. And then, takes him down.
100%. And then like, I will say though, someone online posted this. It was just like Defoe's Green Goblin is just like a tier above like all the other foes, excluding like Thanos and stuff, that Tom Holland's gone against. It's like your toughest guy before this was Vulture, bro. Like you don't have stand a chance against him. But yeah, like Defoe was amazing. The fact that like it's clear, like they kind of like alluded in like Civil War that he had an Uncle Ben or someone die, but it's clear he did not have an Uncle Ben, which I think is kind of crazy. So they just used Aunt May as Uncle Ben now.
Yeah. How do you feel about them killing her?
I mean, for what they're wanting to do, it makes sense, even though like that last magic spell makes very little sense to me. Because they're like, everyone that knew you throughout the multiverse is coming here, and like we'll make them forget. That could work. It's like, how? But I mean, it's kind of like comic book logic stuff where you just kind of have to have fun with it. But yeah,
here's a question, another question. You haven't seen Doctor Strange still, I believe.
I have not.
And you don't like Benedict Cumberbatch. So how did you feel about him, his role in this movie?
This was the most I've liked him in anything I've seen so far. It's just like, boy, he must have gotten like a software update or something that's actually let him show personality for once.
Yeah.
But I like Wong a lot. Like I actually saw most of Shang-Chi the other day. And like I have a lot of gripes about that movie. But the fucking blanking on it now. Oh, but the dude that plays Wong is a lot of fun. And he's in it like a couple different times.
Is he in it as Wong?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, because he's fighting a cage fight and stuff, and then at the end he shows up to talk to Shang and Shang's friend. I'm blanking on her name, but yeah, like that movie. That's another topic. I'm not super hot with it, but I'm not super cold with it either. But but yeah, with the Spider-Man, it's just it's the best one of the Tom Hollands I've seen so far, and I'm excited to see where they're going with it. With everyone
Right.
forgetting who Peter Parker was and him having to get his GED so he can get a job. I hope he gets a job at the Bugle because J.K. Simmons was fantastic. I want more of him.
He was really good. I think they did a good job of like making the Bugle modern, I guess, or at least uh what Jay Jonah
Yeah,
does.
my one gripe with him, and I don't know if you'll think this makes sense and might not. So that'd be, you could tell me if I'm wrong, but it's like it shows him one point where he's like literally in his house with a green screen, like that's how it looks like. So it makes it seem like, oh, the Bugle isn't this big thing. And then like later on, he's like Bill Square talking and stuff. It's like, dude, like you can make him look like a Joker in this one part where it's like in his house and whatnot. But then like other times you're like, oh no, he's actually, he has people like space that are basically just stalkers that he pays money, money
Mhm.
to because he's making this much money. So it's like that didn't really work.
Right. Another thing that I didn't think really worked, and I'm curious about your opinion on, was Happy. Did you get what I was saying about it being kind of weird how he like shouldn't have been as involved as he was? Because like Aunt May's like, I think we're done. And then he's like sobbing at her grave, like, oh man, I just, we were together for so long. It's like you weren't though.
In all fairness, though, too, Aunt May kind of used him because he was like, he was 100% hoping to get back together with her. And she was like, yeah, we can crash at your place. And then he's like, okay. And then she's, just like stealing his bed and he's having to sleep on the chair. And then she dies.
Fair enough. I was just like the whole time just kind of like, dude, just let it go. Just let it
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. And then you also were talking about the spider sense stuff. And that is fair to be a gripe because they kind of played it fast and loose. Like there's the part when like he kind of picks up on, Green Goblin being bad, but then like there's other times where it didn't really. So whatever. But then when you were talking about the taking the mask off part, I actually got that because like Andrew Garfield knows that those two are Spider-Man's friends and he sees them, he hops to the portal because they're this Spider-Man's friend. So he's trying to tell them like, hey, where's your Spider-Man? I need to talk to him. So here's my face. It doesn't matter if you know who I am because this is a different universe, even, that type of thing. It's like that made sense to me, even though Andrew Garfield was the worst about like he made or second worst. Tom Holland is now taking that mantle of being the worst at taking his mask off every opportunity he got.
I
But
know, man. It drives me nuts. And at least Toby made the comment about not sharing the identity all the time, but
yeah,
it's like I feel like you guys just did that to make a joke about sharing your identity. I don't
yeah.
know. Toby was just there for jokes mostly, and I don't know. I he also was the like veteran wizened Spider-Man. I
Mm-hmm.
was just like, I wish you guys just kind of would have left him at that and not have him get stabbed just to make a dumb joke or whatever.
See, like with him being stabbed though, it still made sense because he's the one that was like, because I mean, he's killed some people. So he, so like when Tom was about to, he's the one that stopped it, and he kind of like made Tom realize, yeah, he shouldn't murder Willem Dafoe type of thing. So like that's where one of the reasons why he was there too. It wasn't just to have him be, oh, I'm in so much pain right now, but
Well,
I
not that. Like he should have
I've been
been there
stabbed
at that
before.
moment. Just
Yeah.
getting stabbed is, I don't know. I just thought it was dumb. It was dumb.
Yeah. And I like the part though when, since like Andrew Garfield is like the one that's just, he's very down on himself, and since Toby's like the one that has his shit together basically out of the three, because he's old and he's got got his wife and they got it all working together. I'm assuming they're married. They got it all worked together now and all all this stuff, and he's like telling him, he's like, no, you're amazing. You truly are just an amazing man. Like that type of stuff. I'm like, I like that. That was some wholesome, wonderful content.
It was. I thought all of it was. I really liked when they were up on the roof. I guess when they all met for the first time, and they
Yeah.
they were talking about the great power, great responsibility stuff, and talking about their Uncle Ben's and all that. There was a lot of good wholesome stuff.
Yeah. Though their entrance made zero sense
Mhm.
because Ned and Mary Jane or MJ both walk, and then they're like on top of the thing, just being like, "What's up?" It's like,
Right. They're
you
like,
guys
we'll
didn't have to
meet you
do that.
up there.
Yeah. But
Also, dude, I know it's kind of cheesy, but I absolutely loved when Andrew got to save MJ,
that's
because
what I was about to say.
that played through his mind a million times every day since he failed. So the
Yeah.
fact that he got to do it once, it made me really happy.
Yeah, 100%, dude. That was one of the, like, you knew that scene was coming as soon as you saw the part in the trailer where Tom's reaching for MJ. You're like, yeah, he's Andrew's gonna save her. How
Yeah.
bad would it have been if Andrew would have just messed up and
Done the
she
same thing
died?
again, snaps
He's
her
like, not
neck.
again.
Oh, boy,
Dude,
really know how to spoil a movie.
I'll really, like, this will be the last thing I'll say, but like I talked about maybe Ned becoming a bad guy, because that's what one of the rumors I had earlier on heard was Green Goblin's going to talk to him. How crazy would it be if they, like, Pete slowly gets MJ and they kind of get their memories back or whatever, and then Ned though turns evil because of it? Like he basically makes him hobgoblin over this type of thing.
Yeah. No, I'd be all about it. I love Hobgoblin. It'd
Yeah.
be awesome to see him. And it could happen now that he's lost his memories, like you said. We'll see.
And what do you think's gonna happen with the symbiote suit?
I don't know. I mean, it doesn't make sense why a part of that suit stayed and the rest of Tom Hardy left. So I don't know. I mean, really, nothing should come of it, but they'll probably use it somehow.
Yeah, I'm betting this is gonna be what I think happens, because they have to find a way for him to get back with MJ, because that's just what's gonna happen. So I'm betting that symbiote goes on him, and then, like, because right now he was like, oh, I gotta be the better man because I want them to live their lives basically. The symbiote will probably go on him and then, like, let him just do what he actually wants to do versus what he should do, if that like that. So I bet it's something like they're a way for them to get MJ back into the fold.
Right. I mean, where things are at right now is an appropriate time for the symbiote. They could totally go the black suit storyline, and it would be fine. Also, this is the last thing I'll say about it. I hate how at the end in the coffee shop, there's just all those super long, awkward pauses when he's paying for the coffee. You know what I mean? Like, if that happened, I would be like getting the hell away from that guy as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
I don't like, I know they do that to like build the drama, but if you think about that happening in real time, he looked like a total psychopath.
Yeah. No, she'd be thinking in her head, like, I have to talk to him because this is my job, but I don't want to.
Right. Even if she thought he was cute, if he's being a freaking weirdo, she's gonna bounce.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm genuinely glad that you liked it, because I feel like we harp on a lot of Marvel's like latest outings, so it was nice that this one worked out.
And I will say, Shang-Chi, it's fine. It's got some funny scenes, but if you're like, the diehard Shang-Chi fan I am for the past 6 issues, you're gonna be a little annoyed with the fact that he gets superpowers.
Yeah, I'll probably like it more than you because of that reason.
Yeah, you've only been a hardcore fan for 3 issues.
I know, right? All right. Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for listening to our ad. Or if you'd like to hear Casey's thoughts on Spider-Man No Way Home, you can go check out the YouTube channel. That is just Two Worlds Podcast on YouTube. But now we will get into our comic reviews. And Casey, go ahead and say which comics you read this week.
Oh man, I read so much. Okay, so I got the Crimson Cage. Finally, Diamond got to Jake. Wastelanders Hawkeye #1, Catwoman #38, Justice League Incarnate #2 of 5, and Catwoman Lonely City Book 2. What about you?
I read Catwoman 38, Justice League Incarnate #2, King Shark #4, A King's Vengeance #1, Moon Knight #6, No Holds Barred #1, Nightwing 87, and Sonic the Hedgehog 47.
All right, so you got a good bit more than me, man. I'll let you start up.
All right.
Did you not get to the Catwoman Lonely City?
I did not.
Oh man,
I did too much traveling this week, man. I'll have to read it later.
Should have read that instead of the other Catwoman.
All right, Sonic the Hedgehog 47. It's written by Evan Stanley, and the art is done by Evan Stanley. Yeah, it's like the wrap up of that forest fire mini arc that's going on. The day gets saved essentially, and then at the end, they hire the Chaotix to figure out who started the fire. So it wasn't Billy Joel, but Chaotix will get to the bottom of it.
I was gonna make a Billy Joel joke.
I know you were. I read you like a book, sir.
I know, man.
But anyway, I like Chaotix a lot. I've got a lot of nostalgia for their game back in the day, so hopefully that's a good time. But yeah, otherwise, totally fine. It's a Sonic comic. I'm gonna give it a 7.
Who are the Chaotix? Is that the alligator dude and Mighty and Chameleon Boy? Okay.
Chameleon Boy. Yes.
Okay.
Whose name I'm blanking on. I'm like, oh, I love these characters, and then can't tell you their names.
The only one I remember is Mighty.
Well, Vector is the alligator, and then wow, it is just really gonna bug me. I'm totally not Googling it right now.
You're gonna be so mad when it's Chameleon Boy and you laughed at me.
No, it's Mighty was the armadillo.
Yeah.
So in this, it's just Charmy, the bee, Vector, and then Espio, the chameleon.
I did not know Mighty was an armadillo. I never knew what the heck that little freak was.
That little freak. He's got such a cool design, though, like a cool Sonic universe design.
Yeah, no, he looked awesome. He was probably my favorite out of the bunch, but I was like, I don't know what you are.
So did you play Chaotix?
No, but I read some of the or when I used to get Alco comics, from like our local Alco, I'd get every once in a while a Knuckles comic, and they were always featured prominently in that.
Dude, you have no idea how jealous I am of that, because Knuckles comics are even harder to come by than Sonic comics.
I mean, I don't have them in very good condition anymore, so I can't help you either.
Yeah, I feel you.
All right, so first up for me is The Crimson Cage, issue 1 of 5, and this is by John Lees and Alex Cormack on the art. The art in this is really cool, and this is like Macbeth meets pro wrestling with the territory days and stuff, and it's pretty cool as a wrestling fan. A lot of stuff, like there's this guy that's basically Ric Flair knockoff. That's like I don't remember what their actual federation is called, but their champion, like the knockoff, the NWA champion, he's like coming over. He's like, hey, I really like you, guy, and blah blah blah. I'm gonna have you kick out of my finishing move, and then let you, then hit it again and win the match. Or he's like, and then do a dirty roll up and win. So then that will give us another match, and then you'll get the title. It'll like be a year-long thing, and I'm gonna push you. And so then the dude believes him, and then he just screws him over, hits him once, like kind of pretends he's like, oh, so hurt, and takes about 20 seconds and then covers him and holds his elbows down so he doesn't kick out. And then his two guys are telling him, like, yeah, that's just a rib he does to everybody, like in all these podunk towns. He just always does this. So they're like, don't get mad. And like early on, this main guy saw that, he'd have the chance to be world champion, but he'd only be world champion one time. And that'd be his whole kingdom and all this other stuff. So he's actually going to plan on killing the Ric Flair knockoff guy. And so it's pretty cool. Just like I said, as a wrestling fan, I think if you're a Macbeth fan and a wrestling fan, it's going to be even cooler. But yeah, it's an 8 out of 10 for me. I really liked it. The art's really, really nice in it too.
Nice. I'm glad you liked it after the wait. So I will do No Holds Barred number 1. And this is written by Eric Gladstone with art by Gabrielle Kari. And this is a weird book. It's, like I mentioned last week, it's William Shakespeare and his page dressing up as superheroes called the Bard and Page to rescue Queen Elizabeth I after she's been kidnapped. And yeah, in this issue this is very much got a Cartoon Network like show vibe to it as far as like art and stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But anyway, turns out it was Francis Bacon the whole time, and those guys saved the day by like throwing bacon grease on him so that this bear would attack him. Like, it's very strange. But anyway, they saved the queen, and then there's going to be a next issue that I guess has nothing to do with the queen. So I guess each issue is sort of self-contained. It's just all about the Bard and Page, but it's still fun. Like, it was a wacky, good time. It gets a little old read because the whole thing is read like a Shakespeare play or whatever. So if you don't like that, you probably won't dig it, but for 20 pages or whatever, it's not that bad. Yeah, it was pretty standard. I will also be giving this one a 7.
So, fun fact, and I could be blank because it's been a while since I've read this conspiracy theory, but there's a theory that William Shakespeare wasn't a real person, and there's just different writers throughout, and one of the writers that did most of his work was Sir Francis Bacon.
Well, that would make sense, because in this, he's like, I'm going to do away with you. And when everyone thinks of all these great plays, they're going to think of Sir Francis Bacon. So,
well, for a group of people on the internet, he's done it. Okay, so next up for me is Wastelanders, Hawkeye number 1. And this is by Ethan Sachs with Abram Roberson on the art. And the art in this is pretty outstanding. We get Old Man Juggernaut, which is funny because it's like nothing can stop the Juggernaut, but he still has arthritis and stuff in his knees. So it's like he's having trouble moving, and like Hawkeye just keeps shooting arrows at him and it's not doing anything, but like he can't move. So he finally just throws a truck at him and stuff. And then finally Stick shows up, who the new Stick is Daredevil, which it's like, that's my main thing that annoys me about this is like continuity wise, I'm about 90% sure I saw Daredevil be dead in Old Man Logan. So showing up here, not making a little sense. But other than that,
does the story take place before that?
No, because it's like, this is after everyone's dead. He's the guy that trained Hawkeye to be blind, so this would take place after everyone's dead to before Old Man Logan, kind of in that time frame. So he then has him do this mission, and he's like, in this box, he's like, can I find where it says so I can get the, it's like, you'll land near the compound and what's inside this box to pierce their heart. That's what he says. So he messes up his landing. He gets too close to the compound, and it's a hand compound, and he's, blind and shooting people with arrows and stuff, and finally gets to the main thing, gets punched in the face. Then like this person attacks him, and he's like, I can tell who that smell is. It's Elektra, and she just beats the crap out of him because it's like Hawkeye at his best, not blind, wouldn't stand a chance. So yeah, I mean, he doesn't have much luck here, but he opens up this thing, and then he's like, wait, what? And he can smell it, and a weapon that was going to pierce the heart is flowers. And Daredevil's like, I never said it was a weapon, Clint. And she's like, oh, Matthew, you remembered. He's like, of course, my love. Happy anniversary. He's like, wait, all this just to have me deliver flowers to your ex-girlfriend, your evil ex-girlfriend? He's like, I couldn't. Elektra and I would have fought to the death if we ever are in the same place at the same time. It's like, it's a code of honor thing, but I still do love him. And it just made me laugh. So yeah, I mean, it was a fun time, and I'm like, for the most part, I've read all of the stuff that's taken place in this future stuff. I miss the Star-Lord stuff, but I'm gonna read the Wastelanders Star-Lord. I think that should be pretty fun. And yeah, this was a good time. It's 8 out of 10 again.
Nice. The Star-Lord series sold pretty well at the shop. A lot
Yeah,
of people dug it.
It was one of those ones where like I was kicking myself after like the third issue, and everyone's like, this is really good. I'm like, oh, shoot. I should have got it.
And if only you knew a guy that could hook you up with it.
I know. He like someone that owns a shop.
Yeah.
Do they have that? That's out in trade, I'm assuming.
Probably. I think I've got the bundle of it.
Yeah,
but
I might have to hop on that one of these days.
Yeah. Alrighty, next for me is Nightwing 87. It's written by Tom Taylor and art is done by Bruno Redondo. The art is amazing in this. Dick is a dummy, and it bugs me a lot. But essentially, this is just a filler issue about Nightwing's new three-legged dog getting stolen and Nightwing and Batgirl going to beat up the guys that did it. The little bit longer version is that Dick gets back to town, and conveniently, while he was away in Gotham City dealing with Fear State, none of the everybody just put on the back burner that Dick Grayson was going to change the whole city. But the day he comes back, a hit gets put out on him for $10 million. And so a bunch of armed gunmen just start shooting at him in open daylight, as well as break into his apartment and steal his dog. And the dumbest part of this whole thing, I'm going to read it. This is internal dialogue by Nightwing. When I told the world how I wanted to change Bloodhaven, I knew I'd be putting myself in the crosshairs. I just hoped I'd be the only one targeted. The last thing I'd want is for anyone to be threatened because they're close to Dick Grayson. It's like, you dumbass, you knew that was going to happen. Why wouldn't that happen?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, it's just so stupid. It's so stupid. He's been doing this long enough and has so much experience that he should know that that was going to happen. I just don't like that Tom Taylor just writes him to be so dumb.
You know what I kind of hope happens though? There's I hope they do a part where like the dog doesn't have to die, but like, have you seen John Wick yet?
Yeah.
Okay, you know that part when he's sitting, he's like, and you took that from me, like that part.
Right.
It'd be great if like they just stole that. Like, how cool would that be if you have Nightwing doing that?
Yeah, for sure. But like, it sucks because the art is so good.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got to read stupid stuff like, I didn't know other people would be put in danger when I let everybody know my plan.
Yeah.
I don't know. The art is a 12 out of 10, but the story is an atrocious 5 out of 10. So I will round this up to a 6 out of 10.
6.5?
5.5.
Oh, shoot. Okay, so Catwoman Lonely City Book 2, and this is by Cliff Chiang. It's pretty great. We get more backstory on the day Batman died. Then we kind of get, the like Gotham City political stuff. Like that's the thing. It's like first issue, a lot better than this issue, but the first issue was also just amazing, So it's like, yeah, it's whatever. But because like I said, we get a lot of the political stuff, but we get like a lot of Riddler, and like it's clear Cliff really likes the Riddler because he actually writes him really cool and really fun. And it's like, oh yeah, the Riddler was on coke a lot of the times, and now he's sober, which I actually thought was pretty funny. And
That is funny.
yeah, and like I think we get some new people to join Catwoman's group. She does a job that's like the precursor to the big job that they're gonna do. And then like also you have Catwoman kind of trying to think of like doubting herself because she's old. And I like all in all, I just really like this. It's just really, really good. And the fact that she's like, I'm gonna show this one picture. This is kind of funny because like I know like I can't do this. I know it would take a lot of muscle, like a lot of just straight up power, like strength to do this, and trying to do some stuff like not even close to this level is crazy. Like if you're able to hold yourself like this, and then later on in the comic she's like, oh, I'm just not strong enough. It's like, get out of here, Selena. Look at that. But yeah, I'm gonna go 9 out of 10 on this. I really liked it.
Okay. I'm looking forward to catching up on it this week. Okay, next for me is A King's of Vengeance. And this is written by Davia LeBlanc and Peter Rick. And then art is by Peter Rick. RICQ. I don't know how to pronounce that.
Yeah, don't ask me. Put in Google the Google and see if you can get
the
pronounce
translate. Anyway, this is a pretty crazy book. It's short. I don't know, like it's a Scout Comics book, so there's like not a lot of ads in it or anything, so it just kind of feels real short. But essentially, this guy goes to talk to some evil usurper of some sort, and it turns out that the usurper is his son, and his son is crazy powerful, like lifts him up in the air, and then one by one rips all of his limbs off.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And it's just like, I'm the new ruler now, there's nothing you can do about it. And takes him and just throws him out the castle window after ripping off all of his limbs. And his little like velociraptor that he rides around goes after him, and down in this junk pile that he was thrown into, this weird little person finds him and puts him in their wagon, and brings the velociraptor along with him too, and I guess is gonna like put him back together or whatever. But the book is called A King's of Vengeance, so I'm sure that the king will be put back together and then put some people together to go take out his son or whatever. I don't know how he's going to do that because he seems insanely powerful. But art is pretty awesome. It's like sort of dystopian future mixed with fantasy, which is neato. But I thought it was pretty cool. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. We'll definitely be checking out the second issue.
Was the king's name Humpty Dumpty since they're putting them back together?
No, it wasn't.
That'd be fun if that's like this is like the weird, dystopian Humpty Dumpty story that we've all been clamoring for. All right, all that I got left is Catwoman and Justice League Incarnate.
Okay, I'll do my last two then. Next is Moon Knight number 6. It's written by Jed McKay and the art is done by Alessandro Capuccio. And it pretty much picks up right where the last issue left off, with this new Zodiac just beating the crap out of Mark. And um, Mark's vampire, like secretary lady. Like we see her running to a building and she's banging on the door, and she was like, I don't want to be here. You don't like me, and I don't like you, and I know you don't like him, but he needs you right now. And then it cuts back to Zodiac beating the crap out of Mark. And then who comes in to save him but the other Moon Knight guy? Uh, the left hand of Khonshu or whatever. So I think his name's like Dr. Bader or Batter, however they pronounce it. I'm going to say Bader. Bader stitches him up and just kind of talks to him about his origin a little bit. And then we kind of get some visions of Khonshu trying to talk to Mark again, which is pretty interesting. And then at the end, Bader's like, I'm still not certain whether you are fit for your title, and I don't even know if I like you, but we worship the same God, and whether we like each other or not, we're in like a weird brotherly relationship. So I don't really know what they're gonna do with that. It could be interesting. I imagine it's gonna end pretty poorly. There's not just gonna be two Moon Knights running around.
Yeah.
But anyway, once he's all healed up, vampire lady and Tigra kind of walk him back to his midnight mission that was burned down by Zodiac. And Mark just kind of sits down in this burnt up chair and he says, I'm Moon Knight. I'm not going anywhere. If Zodiac wants to get me, he can find me right here. And that's how it ends. So it was pretty neat. The art is amazing as always, especially the weird inside of his mind stuff where he's like trying to talk to Khonshu again. And I'm interested to see where this relationship goes with this other Moon Knight. So I'm digging it. It's a 9 out of 10 for me.
You're talking about how one Moon Knight said the other one, like, we worship the same God. We might as well be, we don't have to be friends. I don't like you, but hey, we might as well work together. It's like, just think if all the Christians out there did that.
I know, right? Or just people in general.
Yeah, like, hey, we're all living on this same earth. I don't hate you. It's like, I hate you, but I'm not gonna fight you. Like, nah, you're different, even slightly. Let's just punch each other.
All right. And then finally, we've got Suicide Squad King Shark #4. And it's written by Tim Seeley and art done by Scott Collins. So yeah, they're in King Roach's disgusting trash-filled realm. And King Shark baits him by tearing off one of his arms and feeding it to King Roach. But Roach doesn't know that they poisoned the arm with a bunch of spray paint. And I assume this is true, but Defacer is like, I used to live in this nasty part of town and low income apartments. There were roaches there. And, hardly anything kills roaches, but one thing that does is spray paint. And she lists like 2 chemicals that are in it. And she was like, and you just ate a severed shark arm full of it. And it kills him. So he wins the fight, which is pretty funny.
Nice.
But then Waller's like weird supernatural Suicide Squad shows up, which is Etrigan and Gentleman Ghost and a Harpy Lady from Yu-Gi-Oh! And Black Bison. And then like Orca shows up. And this is like, I don't really like how Etrigan is handled a lot of times anymore, because I mean, you and I both know how powerful he is, but then Defacer just puts like a spray paint bomb like in his mouth, and that kind of stuns him or whatever. And
Well,
then
if you remember when you read the Bible, there's only 2 things on earth that can kill a demon: One, and they're both found in spray paint. It says that in like Corinthians 9:15, I think.
Okay. I should have remembered that.
Yeah.
But yeah, then Orca shows up at the behest of King Shark's dad, and like, not that it kills him, like, because he recovers from it, but Orca like punches through the back of his head. I'm just like, dude, Etrigan is like way stronger than Orca. I'm sorry, but that, like, even if this is a goofy book, that shouldn't be happening.
You know, it's really funny too when you think about it. It's like Etrigan's down here now, Defacer here, Orca here, Punchline up here, because
I
she
know.
just destroyed Orca.
I know, right? It's crazy. But then we get a little background on Harpy Lady, and she's from like this race of beings called the God Killers. So she and King Shark's dad in his humanoid form have this big battle, and they end up taking each other out. So King Shark's dad, spoiler alert, is now dead, and King Shark is really not happy about that. And it ends with him holding his dead daddy. And I think that's probably going to be enough of a motivator for him to clean up the rest of this tournament. So we'll see where it goes. But this one was one of the weaker issues for sure. I'm going to give it a 6. But it's still a goofy fun time.
Right on. All right, so now you just want to do Catwoman and then Justice League.
Whichever you want, man.
All right. So Catwoman number 38, and this is by Ram V with Casper Wingard on art and colors. And yeah, it's just kind of like summing up a lot of the stuff that's happened and kind of like doing all the loose ends from the last couple issues and of Catwoman. Yeah, I mean, then it has like a fun little heist thing kind of at the end. Not heist, but kind of like crime type, thing. And we tricked them type of go about, but I don't know. It didn't really do much for me. It kind of felt lackluster. What'd you think?
Yeah, I enjoyed the little heisty thing that you're talking about. It was fun. My favorite part was the little moment between Cheshire and Leon, because I want to see that whole family come back together at some point. But yeah, other than that, it was literally just a recap of Ramby's last few arcs here. So pretty clear that this is his final issue.
Yeah, it was just like I kind of like the last issue more as a final issue. Like this just seemed like very unnecessary, I mean, the last one, it had like the nice big pose, which looked, like is always a great way to end your run on a book, and but so like, this one just kind of was like um yeah, I mean, the art in it's solid. The story though, I don't know, it didn't really do much. And then also like how she sees the oh preacher man and talks to him for a little bit, and it's just kind of like, well, you couldn't beat me and I couldn't beat you, but since I killed someone on accident, I guess I'll leave. Bye. Like it's just kind of like it was kind of a cop out, but whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish that Ramby would have gotten to do just a little bit more with like the end of this run instead of Fear State and then this.
Yeah, I agree. But where you at with it?
Probably another 6. Like, I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it.
Yeah, I'm at a 6 too. It was just if you're like, oh man, I missed this issue, doesn't matter. Doesn't bring anything new, doesn't bring anything to the character, doesn't really close anything up. I mean, like, I guess we're not gonna, we know why we're not gonna see that guy for a while.
Right.
But yeah.
Okay, and then we've got Justice League Incarnate number 2. It's written by Joshua Williamson and Dennis Culver, with art by Kyle Hotz, Andre Bresson, and Paul Pelletier and Norm Rapmond. So what were your thoughts on this?
I liked it for the most part. There's stuff I wasn't super hot on, but like when they're in, I think Earth's 13, that stuff was pretty cool. I love the art and that stuff, in there, and how like basically the Doctor Multiverse or whatever is like all about Calvin Ellis Superman, and he's just like, I'm all about the work we need to get done. And like, so Thomas kind of had to be like, don't be an idiot, President Superman. Get in there. And he's like, well, okay. Like, don't twist my arm. And then we get to see your favorite version of Dr. Fate, which, is always a good time.
Yeah. I was like, is that Fate sitting there in the background? And yep, it was.
I love Super Demon. Like we talked about Etrigan not being very good, but the Super Demon's pretty dang cool.
Yeah, I'll be honest, man. This issue didn't do it for me.
Yeah, I mean, because like it's weird. The first half I really liked, but then once we got the Batwoman who laughs, it kind of started losing me.
Yeah, the stuff where Kyle Hotz was doing the art, which again, if you guys need like a new miniseries or a trade, his Man Bat was awesome. But yeah, this, I don't know. Apart from the part with his art in it, I just couldn't care. Like, I don't know that I'm gonna pick up the next one, honestly.
Really?
Like I was just kind of like flipping through the pages by the end of it, just ready for it to be over. I'm really bored with it.
Yeah. See, I liked it up until Batwoman Who Laughs. It's hard for me to care at all about that character. It's like I've had enough of like anyone that even chuckles at things at this point. That's how much I hated the Batman Who Laughs by the end of it. So it's like you're bringing this up too quickly for me to want to see anything else from that.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, I'm probably gonna give it a 4.
I'm at a 6. I didn't love it, but I did like half of it a good bit. Also, really quick, do you think Aquawoman and Orion are going to get together? Because they both have just the worst personalities. I could see them just being terrible for each other.
Dude, I can't stand Aquawoman.
I mean,
like the design is bad and she's just not enjoyable.
She's a jerk, and that's why I think her and Orion could work. And by work, I mean lead to a beautiful divorce.
I think Orion's fun to read, though. She is not.
Well, we barely got anything with her, in all fairness, too.
Yeah.
Because I think any writer or any character can be, like, especially if they're a grump, can be fun to read if they're written with someone that's actually giving them the time, but and also good foil. Like if you had Aquawoman and Captain Carrot in a book together, that'd be about perfect.
You're not wrong there.
All right. So what books are you excited about next week, man?
So I'm gonna go. Hopefully these come in. But I'm gonna go with Dark Knights of Steel #3, Task Force Z #3, and probably Robin #9.
Nice. So for me, it's Action Comics 1038. Death of Doctor Strange #4, and Power Rangers Universe. I'm pretty pumped for that since that's a #1. I'm like, I've been wanting to kind of hop into that. That's why I told you for Christmas. Power Rangers, I'm going to be reading that this week. So hoping it's going to be cool. So we'll see.
Nice. That. I hope it is.
And then New Year is coming. So I asked you this last year, I'm pretty sure. So I'm going to ask you again. What's 4 things that you want to do to make this podcast better or to improve it for the new year or whatever?
Right. Well, I mean, the obvious one is audience numbers. Like there's never enough. We want the entire world listening to us that we can.
I want to get over. A mullet.
Also, we've got our spinoff developing, Anime Boys for Life. I really want that to do well, and loved recording the one episode that we've recorded so far, and I want to do more.
That'll be technically episode 2, right? Because we're going to be doing the prelude episode prior to that.
Yeah, for sure. And then just kind of fine tune at least my reviewing. I know sometimes I just kind of ramble at certain parts. I need to get better about that. Yeah, I'm not really sure about a fourth one. What about you, man?
I think like just establishing audience and getting like better audience communication, because it's like, yeah, we ask them for reviews and all this stuff, but we don't really do much. But it's kind of hard when we don't have a lot of followers on stuff and all that type of good stuff. I think increasing that audience is a for sure thing we have to do. Our ramblings, because we both do it a lot, where we both just ramble like crazy, and then we get sidetracked and be like, what about this? And you'll be like, oh, what about that? And then go from there. and then also just the quickness to like from recording to editing to getting it out there, because there's been times where we have not done that very well, and by we it's a lot of times me. So we're like, we'll get it all recorded and I'll be like, oh shoot, this my day has been much more busy than I thought or whatever. And then last one, I will also add in Anime Boys, hoping we can get that going, and I'm hoping for at least 3 episodes before we start putting that up. So
yeah, I agree.
Hopefully we can get another one recorded up this week, maybe.
All right. Well, that is all, folks. That is our episode. Hopefully you all enjoyed. I'll now go into the closing plugs. If you would, please go to facebook.com/2worldspodcast and give the page a like. You can also follow us on Twitter at 2_worlds_PC, on Instagram at 2worldspod, and then on YouTube at 2worldspodcast. You can email us at 2worldspodcast@gmail.com. And please like and review us 5 stars wherever you're listening to this. It would really be appreciated.
Yeah, if you're on Spotify now, they actually let you give 5 stars. So if you're a Spotify listener, you can do that now. I did it, and I think Jake's done it. So I'm hoping we're at a solid 5 now.
Psych. My 1 brought us down to a 3.
That's my super villain origin.
All right, guys. Well, we'd love to stay in chat, but I gotta find Casey wherever he is before midnight tonight. So we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.